topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show. Florida, we're so glad everybody's here. It's been rough for this last month. Not one, but two hurricanes. And we have a real trooper. I got to tell you something about our first expert. He's been with us for several years. He is one of the few people that I have been praying for by name. Now, we prayed for everybody in Florida, raised in the Tampa area, but I actually prayed for Ray and his family by name, and thank God he pulled through it. We are so glad he's here. Good morning, Ray.
Steve, good morning. And yes, it has been quite an adventure over the last 3 weeks here in the Tampa Bay area. First Helene with its storm surge, and then Milton with its wind and rain events here in the Tampa Bay area. But we weren't the only ones affected. There's lots of folks here on the West Coast, and then of course there were tornadoes over on the East Coast as the storm was approaching. So our hearts go out to all of those that were hurt a whole lot more than the few minor bumps and bruises that many of us had to go through.
Ray, was there a lot of devastation in Tampa area?
Oh, absolutely. Lots of down trees and branches all over the place. There was severe flooding. Most areas got 12 inches of rain in about 12 hours. Some got as much as 18 inches in that same period of time. And places that weren't even in the flood zone flooded during this event. So a lot of misery on top of the misery that was brought to our area by Helene.
Well, I'm just glad you and your family are okay. And I don't know, it's not over yet. We still have through the end of November, right?
Well, we've got about 5 more weeks that we need to be concerned, but that cool front that came through this past week should help a little bit.
Yeah, that was nice. Kind of surprising, but it was nice. So, Ray, in fact, we actually had 2 people who wrote that said, "How is Ray?" We listened to the show and we know he's on with you, and they wanted to know how you were doing. I thought that was pretty nice that you've got followers out there that cared about you.
Well, that is nice and is very much appreciated. And I'm happy to report that at a personal level did not have any significant issues.
Well, let's tell everybody about Provise Management Group, what you do, and because it's quite a story. And this is this show we do. There's so many people who listen to you, Ray, just for your updates and your news, and you are so educated when it comes to money management.
Well, Steve, thanks. Provise Management Group is a financial planning and investment management firm. We have offices in Clearwater, Florida, and in Tampa. And we're serving about 1,200 families scattered over more than 30 states and investing on their behalf about $1.9 billion. We have 14 financial advisors, and we are a growing firm And as always, for those who listen to the show, we offer a 1-hour complimentary consultation in either of our offices or by Zoom. So whether you're in the Tampa Bay area or out of it, I will be more than happy to accommodate you by Zoom. In fact, we'll be meeting with 2 people this afternoon by Zoom. So it's become a popular way to get together. So if you'd like to take advantage of our complimentary consultation, simply call our number at 727-441-9022. That's 727-441-9022. Or if you'd like to learn more about us, simply go to Provise, PROVISE.com.
Well, guess what's coming up, Ray? It seems like we've been talking about this forever, and we're roughly, as of Tuesday, 2 weeks away. The elections.
You must know about the elections.
It seems like we've been talking about this forever.
Well, the good news is the next time we talk about it, it'll be the day before the election.
That's right.
But the interesting part is, first of all, I encourage everybody, regardless of your political affiliation, get out, vote. These are important times, and you need to cast that vote. I know a lot of people, Steve, are discouraged with the 2 candidates, but those are the 2 candidates we have, and somewhere along the line, it's important to cast a vote one way or the other. But you know, Steve, a lot of conversation relative to the election, and most of it is around 2 areas, both of which have an impact on our economy and thus people's savings and investments. The first and most obvious is the taxation policies put forth by both of the candidates. And I want to say, I say their proposals put forward by the 2 candidates. They're great on headlines. They're really short on being specific about how they're going to do certain things. And both of them are very much in giveaway mode. You know, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. You know, it really upsets me, all of these things that they're going to do, and I haven't found anything that they're going to do for me. So I just want to say that from the beginning. But back to the proposals, former President Trump has clearly indicated that he would like to extend the benefits of his 2017 Tax Act that raised the state values that would pass the state tax-free, almost double what they were. Today, that's about $13.2 million per person, where under the old law it would have been about half that amount. So that's kind of number one. Number two, he would extend the capital gains tax at continue to keep it at 20%. The antithesis to those two, Vice President Harris has indicated that she would probably let the estate planning proposals go back to the way they were prior to 2017, which would reduce the amount of money that could be passed estate tax-free. On capital gains, she's talked about increasing it from 20% to 28% for at certain income levels. So that's a dramatic increase. On the corporate side, she would also increase corporate taxes back to 27, 28%. The president would, the former president would keep it at 21% for corporations, and has even hinted that he might look to reduce it to 15%. So there's a lot up in the air, and all of those the taxes will have implications to investors across the country. Some argue that if we continue with Trump, it'll create a much bigger deficit. And others argue that if we go forward with Harris's proposals, that on the one hand, on the revenue side, we'll have more revenue, but they're very concerned that she'll be spending more money. And the second big thing that is being talked about from an economic standpoint is immigration, and specifically illegal immigration into this country. Let me say from the outset, this country was founded by a bunch of immigrants. Let's be very clear when we go all the way back to the beginning. And in fairness, the indigenous people were here first, but I'm talking about the country grew as a result of immigrants coming to America. And today we need to have intelligent immigration. Our population is not growing fast enough to replace itself at this particular juncture. A nation that is not growing its population simply doesn't grow itself, and it goes into decline. You can see that in several places around the world, most notably in Japan, as it came out of the Second World War. We've seen some of it in China, where they have pulled back on birth rates. In fact, they're trying to look for ways, much like Vice President Harris has talked about, and Vice Presidential candidate J.D. Vance talked about child or tax credits for having children to try to stimulate birth in America. So it's important to have immigration. It helps us grow our economy. It helps us bring intelligent people in. Illegal immigration, on the other hand, can be a tremendous drain on the economy, because once here in this country, being the country that we are, we're going to take care of those folks. So those two issues seem to be the biggest ones to the economy. And again, not to belabor the point, but everybody needs to get out and vote 2 weeks from tomorrow.
You know, Ray, this just, I do go on a lot of panels, political panels. I want to know what both sides are saying. And for people who say, you know, I'm tired of it, I turn the news off, they're really doing themselves a disfavor. Now, I always go out and look. I don't just take people's word for it. But the two biggest things I hear is one side says the economy is doing great. Look at the stock market, what it's doing. And then the other side goes, go to the grocery store, go buy gas, go look at what it costs to buy a house. What do you say about that?
Well, much like I say, some of my friends are Democrats, some of my friends are Republicans, and I agree with my friends. I have to say both sides are correct.
Okay.
Clearly, our economy is doing well as an economy, but I think it's also fair to say that it's bifurcated. Those who have been investing in the market, those who have been big savers over time, they have certainly prospered really the past 8 years, even under former President Trump, and then continued with President Biden. We've had a very healthy economy over the past 8 years. Of course, the pandemic got in the way late in President Trump's term and into early time period for President Biden. So it is fair to say that for a certain segment of the economy, it is doing well. On the flip side, there are other segments of the economy who don't see inflation as an annoyance. They look at it as a life-threatening event. I mean, prices over the past 4 years are 25 to, in some cases, 30% higher than they are today. Rents and housing have continued to be very expensive. Fuel has spikes up and down as we go along. Energy, food costs are definitely higher. A lot's being made of the problem with eggs right now, which got expensive during the pandemic, came back down, but now it's spiked back up. And
Right.
And many are saying, well, see here, the inflation is still here. Well, in fairness, part of the problem with eggs is something called the bird flu, which has wiped out millions of chicks that could have been laying eggs than we have today. So you reduce the supply, and the demand stays the same or goes up. Prices are going to go up. And in this case, the supply is down. So one of the things that we do at ProVise is we look past all the headlines. We try to find out what the real issues are, and then try to translate that into how that affects people's financial lives, and most particularly their portfolios. So both sides are right. It just depends on the so-called facts that you want to use to support your case. And Steve, let me remind everybody that those that are listening today, that if they would like to visit with us and learn more, all they have to do is to call 727-441-9022. That's 727-441-9022. We offer a complimentary consultation, 1 hour, in either our Clearwater or Tampa office, or by Zoom. So even if you're not in the Tampa Bay area, we're more than happy to extend that. And if you'd like to learn more about us, then please go to provise.com. That's PROVISE.com.
And real quickly, this is our 13th year with Ask the Experts, and we do a lot of wealth management, investment shows across the country and other markets. But I got to tell you, I've never done this before. Ray's show that he does, I endorse his show. His information that he shares with us, not once but twice a month, is so valuable. And I try to stay away from endorsing anybody, but this is such an important topic that we talk about. And I just so totally believe in Ray, and we're just so lucky to have him. Ray, God, we're almost in November. I can't believe the year is almost up. What about last minute tax strategies investors should be thinking about?
Well, Steve, there's still, a little over 60 days, I guess 70 days until the end of the year. And so there's still time to help with your taxes before April 15th rolls around. And almost all of these have to be done by the end of the year. So let's kind of start with the easy things. For those that have a portfolio, they ought to look right now at what their capital gains are for the year. Capital gains taxes start out at 0, up to a certain income level, then go to 15%, then go to 20%. And if you have a lot of income because of the Obamacare tax on top of it, it could go to almost 24%. So how much do you have in capital gains? Well, look in your portfolio and see where you might have some losses, that you can go ahead and sell some stocks today, take those losses, and that will help offset the capital gains on the other side. But you say, Steve, I really love that ABC stock. I don't want to get rid of it. Well, go ahead and sell it today. And then you can always buy it back 30 days from now, 31 days from now, so that you avoid what is called a wash sale. Because if you sell the stock for a loss today and you buy it back within the next 30 days, you can't take the loss. So you can always buy it back. And yes, there's some exposure that the stock might go up over those 30 days, but it's a relatively short period of time in the world of investing. Let's say it's in the oil industry or the energy area. You can go ahead and sell the stock, take your loss, and then you could buy something else that's a corresponding, maybe a competitor of theirs if you really want the exposure over the next 30 days. Or you could go buy an exchange-traded fund, an ETF, exchange-traded fund, within the energy sector. and you could hold on to it for another 30 days and then go back and buy that ABC stock that you own. So look to offset your gains with any losses that you might have in your portfolio, but be sure to avoid the wash sales. For those that have a 401k, look to maximize it between now and the end of the year. And if you can, if you're going to get a bonus coming up, let's say in late November, December sometime, try to commit as much of that bonus to that 401k as you can. It will not show up on your tax returns. It'll grow tax deferred until you retire. And it's a great way to give your 401k a boost. If you qualify to do an individual retirement account, make a contribution. You can go to $7,000 in this year. So if you haven't funded at 100%, do that. If you're 50 or over, you can add another $1,000 and put away $8,000 in 2024. Now you can make the IRA contribution after the first of the year for the 2024, but we try to encourage people to get it done earlier in the year. If you own your own business, look to delay invoicing your customers, push that income into 2025. If you own your own business, bring whatever expenses that you might be able to bring into 2024, money that you might have spent in January or February of 2025, another way to reduce your income. Now, a little caveat on that, and that is, depending upon which candidate, what we were talking about a little while ago, gets elected, taxes could be higher next year. So right. All of that good, quote, good advice might be terrible advice if taxes do go up, which we are not anticipating at this point. And it's not because we think somebody's going to win over the other. We believe it'll probably be a split Congress with one of the houses Democratic and the other Republican. And so it'll be very hard to get large tax increases into 2025. So those are just a couple of quick things, but there's other things depending upon your personal situation that you can be doing. So if you would like to learn more, give us a call at 727-441-9022. That's 727-441-9022. Be happy to discuss other ideas with you during our complimentary 1-hour consultation in our Tampa or Clearwater office or by Zoom. So again, 727-441-9022.
Ray, I haven't even told you about this. We've got a couple minutes left. I just want to say, a friend of mine plays for the Minnesota Vikings.
That's too bad. They lost yesterday.
Yeah, I know. He went in like the 5th round. And, when you're a lower round draft choice, you don't even know if you're even going to make the team or not. And this is only his 2nd year, but I just want to say it's because you never know who's listening to this show. And, when he went in the 5th round, he got good money. I'm looking at, but compared to other athletes, maybe not. But, they think that they can do this themselves. I'm telling you, if you know of somebody who plays pro ball or getting ready to play, no matter what sport, even golf, you need to get someone to help you. And in fact, I've been working on him because he needs a Ray Ferrara. And after the season, he's promised me, and I told him that could be too long, but he's promised me he's going to call Ray. But Ray, we never know who's listening to the show. And me being a sports agent for a long time, get somebody like Ray to handle. Don't try to do this yourself. It's too complex. And this is all that Ray does. So I wanted to get that in there. And I know he's going to call you after the season's over with. Ray, give everybody your phone number one more time, please.
Sure. Reach out to us at 727-441-9022. That's 727-441-9022. And take advantage of our 1 hour complimentary consultation by Zoom or either our Clearwater or Tampa office. And if you just want to learn more about us, then please go to our website, provise.com. And that's PROVISE.com.
And you can listen to, again, go back and listen to today's show at iHeart. It used to be Tampa. I mean, I'm sorry, at iHeart, but on Ask the Experts Tampa, it's now Ask the Experts Florida. Ray, thank you so much. Stay safe, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Look forward to it, Steve, and hopefully no more hurricanes.
Yeah, I know. God bless, Ray.
See you later. Take care. Bye-bye.
That's Ray Farrar. He's amazing. We're going to go to our second show, which I love doing this show. Especially if you've ever been in an auto accident, especially for people for the first time, we have got the greatest personal injury law firm. Let me bring them on. She should be. Yeah, there. I know she's there. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Steve. Good morning.
Hey, I want you to know, we do a lot of our self-promoting besides what Facebook and YouTube and iHeart does for us. And I always see your name up there coming up. And I love you. We miss Angela.
Yeah, she had a last-minute deposition she had to fill in for the other attorney. So she's unable to be with us today, but I'm here, and
I'm so glad.
Looking forward to the show.
So you survived another one, Lauren.
Oh, so hurricanes, property damage or homeowner claims resulting in property damage only without injury normally isn't our wheelhouse, Steve. But I think it's important, and I really think that we would be remiss in not addressing at least some of the things that somebody should be doing either before a hurricane or after a hurricane. Because in driving through town, I was blessed, Angela was blessed. We had minimal damage at our homes. Our office suffered 0 damages, thankfully.
Wow.
So blessed. But
which one was worse, Angela? Was it Helene or was it Milton?
Well, I'm Lauren, but so.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got all these names going on. Helene.
So I think it depends on how you're looking at it, Steve. Helene was worse in terms of flooding, but I think Milton was worse in terms of wind.
Wow.
I
saw all those boats up in people's backyards.
Oh, homes were decimated. We drove through, my husband and I drove through Tarpon Springs, and because that was hit pretty hard in both storms, actually. Horrific water damage from hurricane, horrific. And then the wind damage that resulted from Milton following, a few weeks later. And it looked like a war zone. All the debris that was piled out on the curbs in front of people's homes. Homes were destroyed, absolutely destroyed. And it makes me feel so badly, because when something like that happens, people are in shock. They don't know what to do.
Right.
Their whole lives are thrown up in the air. So when we know a hurricane is coming, and thanks to the likes of people like Dennis Phillips, my favorite, Rule Number 7, and some other folks on the air, there are things we know it's coming, and there are things we could do to help prepare. And outside of get your waters, get your batteries, get your flashlights, I'm going to leave that to the weather.
Did you lose electricity at all?
I did not.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I did not.
Because we lost it here on the southeast side.
Yeah, no, when I tell you my home was blessed, it was truly blessed. We lost nothing. We had minimal flooding in the back room, minimal, compared to what people have gone through. So I feel like I came out of it unscathed. But there are things you could do before, like number one, get your homeowner's policy in hand and put it in a plastic envelope and put it somewhere where it's either going to be safe from flood or wind damage, or keep it with you at all times and read it. Because some, without getting into particulars, some policies don't cover flood. Some policies don't cover hurricane. You need a supplemental hurricane policy. Know what your policy covers so that in the event this happens, you know where to go and who to call and what you're entitled to outside of FEMA, because people are calling FEMA and getting denied right now, which is heartbreaking in and of itself. But the other thing is keep your valuables with that policy so that if you need to dart, if you need to run, everything's in one bin in one place and you pick up and go. Before the storm, take out your cell phone. I would say camera, but I don't know anybody who owns a camera anymore. Take photos and videos of the inside of your house, the inside of your drawers. If you have extensive collections, if you collect stamps or coins or stocks or jewelry, whatever it is, take videos of all that. Take videos of the outside of your home. Okay, take pictures of the interior of your closets. Make sure that you have documents of everything inside and outside your home as the way it existed prior to the storm. Download that onto a flash drive, put that with your valuables. So now you can show the difference if you've been impacted by the storm, Steve. After the storm, photos, videos, and more photos. I can't explain how important that is. You want to make sure that if you had flooding, that you have a demarcation of the flood line in your photos and videos, whether it be with a tape measure, whether you mark it, whether you still have the water there. And I caution you to go in with the water being there. You want safety over everything first.
Right.
If you're leaving your home, shut off your panel boxes, shut off your circuit breakers, get your Teslas out of the garage or your golf carts, disconnect the batteries, because I've seen videos where that caused fires and destroyed the homes. You want to call your claim in ASAP. If there's anything quicker than ASAP, Steve, you should do that, because so many people are going to be calling in their claims, whether it be to FEMA or your homeowners, and they go in order in which they're received. So if you wait a few days, you could be 10,000 people before you in line. You could be waiting for your claim to be processed. And what a lot of people don't realize is that you have a duty to mitigate your damages. So you can't just leave the water sitting there and say, I'm going to wait for the insurance adjuster to come and see this personally. Or, this is why I have insurance. Not my problem. I'll let them take care of it. Wrong answer. You definitely want to go in. You want to get the water out as quickly as possible. You want to mitigate for mold. You want to set up fans. You want to get your debris out, but keep the pile of debris so that if an adjuster comes out and has any questions as to what's destroyed, they see the pile of debris if they need to go through it, which they typically won't, but just in case. And then take photographs, again, of everything you took photographs of before, so that you can show the difference. And again, put it on a hard drive, because we drop these suckers daily, right? They fall in toilet bowls, they get run over by cars. And if that's gone and you don't know how to access the cloud, like, some people who may not be as technologically savvy as the younger generations, you have it on a flash drive. The other thing that a lot of people don't realize about property damage claims now is the House bill. Remember, Angela and I have spoken quite a bit on the House Bill 837 that went into effect in March last year. And what they did was property damage claims. It used to be that if you prevailed, if you sued an insurance company for property damage, including homeowners, doesn't just have to be for a car accident, right? Homeowners, you were damaged in a storm and they weren't paying, and you got yourself a lawyer and you won. They used to pay the fees and cost of your lawyer. Not anymore. You have to pay your lawyer's fees. You are not allowed to recover property attorney's fees in property damage claims, thanks to the House bill.
Wow.
Go tort reform.
Hey, Lauren, I got to tell you, we are getting so many calls from listeners in the Tampa area, Tampa and Orlando too. Homeowners insurance companies are telling them what they can do, and they're saying it's not high enough. So now I've got everybody wanting, how come we don't have a public adjuster? A lot of people don't even know what they do, but it is so important because we're hearing in Tampa, the numbers they're quoting are very low, whereas a public adjuster can get you more. And
Yes.
somebody right before the show said, what if a tree from the storm falls on your car? Is that like a car accident? Is that homeowners, or is it like something you would handle?
So again, well, we don't typically handle just property damage claims.
Right.
So again, you have to read your policies and see whether that would fall under homeowners or your car insurance. If you have comprehensive and collision, it may fall under your car insurance unless there's an exclusion for acts of God like hurricanes. And then you'd have to go to your homeowner's policy to see if it's covered. That would be under winds, I believe, under wind insurance. And you may need a separate rider or another policy for wind insurance. So it's so crazy and so tedious. And the fact that people have to even get public adjusters, which are probably cheaper than attorneys, but you still have to pay for that out of your pocket.
Right.
Blows my mind. We pay premiums. This is why Angela and I do what we do in the injury world, because the way insurance companies operate, it nauseates you more than Ozempic. It's crazy because you pay premiums all year long, right? Whether you pay them quarterly, whether you pay them biannually, every 6 months, whether you pay them once a year, you get the call, you get the email reminder, you get the text message, your premiums are due, right? And you could go 2-3 years and never make a claim, 5 years, 10 years. I've had people say, I've had Allstate 20 years, never made a claim, and now I'm making a claim and I have a problem. I paid premiums for 20 years and now I have to make a claim and there's an issue. Yeah, because there's no allegiance to you as a policy payer or a premium payer. There's no loyalty to you that you've been a member of State Farm, Allstate, Geico, Progressive, Nationwide, Dairyland, Century. I mean, the list goes on. There's no loyalty to you for staying with them for so many years. There's no loyalty to you for not making a claim. When it comes time to paying a claim, it's all about this to the insurance company. It's all about the dollar, right? They don't care who you are or what you've paid or what you do or how many people you refer to them. They're going to treat you like any other claimant and they're going to try and pay as little as possible. That's their business. That's their business. You know, we felt so bad, Angela and I, for the victims, knowing what they're facing, right, with FEMA and the insurance companies, that we are in the middle of promoting a campaign where we are going to give $15,000, which is $150 gift cards. So 100 families will benefit if they qualify, for people who have been affected by the storms.
Wow.
Yeah, that's out of our pockets. That's not
Angela and Lauren both. That is amazing, Lauren.
It's small, but it's something. Hopefully it's something that could help people. So for anybody who feels they have been impacted by the storms in a financial aspect, please go on to Facebook or Instagram. We'll be promoting the details of that. Once we get the gift cards in from Walmart, we figured Walmart, you could get clothing, you could get furniture, you could get cleaning supplies, you can get food, your groceries, whatever it is you may need. $150 gift cards.
Wow.
To qualify. Yeah. First 100, once it's gone, it's gone, but hopefully we'll be able to make an impact or help somebody in a small way.
Are you having problems like they are in North Carolina with FEMA?
We don't handle those claims, so we don't have clients speaking to us, but in general in the community, I've heard a lot of people are getting denied FEMA.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That makes what you're doing so much sweeter.
Well, we really do try. We think community is important, Steve. We're big into charity, especially where it comes to families or kids. Those are our soft points. And it's funny because another attorney asked me the other day, we were in a mediation and we were talking in between or kibitzing in between towards the end of the mediation. And he said, so what are your hobbies, Lauren? Like, no one asked me that. What's my hobby? I go to work. I do my work. I come home. I eat. I sleep. I go back to work. But what came through was family. I could sit and watch paint dry on the walls if I'm with the right people, right? Family is everything to Angela and I. That's where we spend our free time, is with family. And I think that I know that we try and incorporate that into our business and into how we treat our clients. People come to Zervos and Calta, and you become part of Zervos and Calta family. A lot of firms out there will maintain, and some of them are, that they'll be vested in your claim. They're vested in your case, in your lawsuit. And that's great. Every attorney should be vested in the claim lawsuit, because not only do you get paid out of that, Steve, as the client, but that's how we make our money, right? That's how we feed our families.
And that's all you do.
That's all we do. So that contingency fee that comes in, that's how Angela and I pay our bills and feed our families. But we're more than just vested in the outcome of the claim or in the amount of money we recover. That's a huge factor, because we want to make sure that we get you the most amount of money we could possibly get you that you're deserving of. But we invest in the client. And I don't think a lot of firms do that. I know a lot of firms don't do that, because we've had a lot of people come to us from other firms where they say that they've never met with the attorney, they've never gotten a phone call.
Right.
The letter they get from the attorney is a stamped signature. They didn't even take the time to sign the letter.
Lauren, you go through intake. You go through intake.
I don't understand. I don't understand it. That to me, when you go and hire an attorney, Steve, you expect to meet with the attorney.
Exactly.
Right? It's like going to a doctor and only getting to meet with the pharmacist. Right? I want to meet with the doctor. The doctor's the one who's going to examine me. The doctor's the one who went to school. The doctor's the one with the training. The doctor's the one with the education. The doctor's the one who knows how to fix me. And while I do believe it takes, special education and props to be a pharmacist, he's not the one who's going to be able to diagnose me, right? He's not the one who's going to be able to treat me. He could fill my prescription once the doctor determines what's wrong with me. It's the same thing with a lawyer and a case manager or an investigator or a legal secretary or a paralegal. I don't care what title you give the person who's not the lawyer. The bottom line is they're not the lawyer, and they can't make decisions, and they shouldn't be giving you legal advice. That's not ethically correct. That's actually a violation of the legal ethics, is to have somebody who's not a lawyer give you legal advice.
Wow, I never thought about that. That's right.
Okay. You never get the lawyer calling up and saying, hey, my legal assistant told me this, and this about your case. Let me give you advice. No, you're taking advice from an investigator or a case manager.
Right.
Why would you do that? Why would you settle for less? To me, that's settling for less. I'm hiring an attorney and I'm getting an assistant. Why would you do that?
And Laura, I got to tell you, because I do this all across the country, I've been doing it for 13 years. The fact that this is the only thing that you do, you would not believe how many firms out there, if you look at their shingle hanging up, there's like 6, 7 different areas of law that they do.
Yes.
And they don't I know I shouldn't be using the word specialized, but really, this is it. This is what you do.
This is it. I started my legal career in New York as a prosecutor in Brooklyn. So, yeah, I saw a lot.
Yes.
PTSD is a real thing, Steve, in the legal field.
Yes.
And then I moved to Florida in the end of 94. And since I had to take the Florida bar, and since 1995, This is all I've done. Angela did 18 months or less than 2 years as a public defender in Florida. And straight after that, this is all she's done. Combined, we have over 50 years experience together.
Amazing.
Don't make me do the math. It's too early in the morning. But I know that it's over 50 years of legal experience in just doing personal injury work. And we pride ourselves on that.
I want to tell everybody this is something that we don't normally share, but again, we've got about 60 experts around the country. This is our 13th year. There's only a handful of shows that we even allow to do more than one show a month because we've got so many people who are waiting to become part of the show. But I love these gals. You guys are amazing. And I said to them, I would like to run your show twice because this is about the listeners, the viewers, that we want to cater to them. And I said, you know what? A show this good with your background in education, it needs to run more than once a month. So we're on with the show with Calta and Zervos every other Monday. And we're just so blessed to have you because what you do, and and I learn new things from you all the time. It's amazing how important family is and what you're doing for the community. You and Angela with these gift cards, it just shows where your heart is. And when someone calls your office, they're going to get you or Angela and not some order taker.
Yes. We take pride in that. And we make a lot of friends. We may not always take your case, but we will explain why. And most times we encourage you to get a different opinion from a different attorney if we don't feel that it's something that we would be a good fit for.
But you've seen everything. So if you don't take a case, you've got a very good feel for the outcome. I mean, it's never 100%, but you've seen so much. Let's tell people again how they can reach you.
Well, our phone number is 727-937-3171. Our website is www.zervosinjurylaw.com. It's Zervos and Calta. Our main office is in Tarpon Springs. We have satellite offices in Spring Hill, in Clearwater, in St. Petersburg, and we handle cases throughout the state of Florida.
Well, we still have another, 5 weeks of hurricane season.
Ooh.
And I know. We got the
video, pictures, video, pictures, before and after, folks.
You're the best. And you'll be back with us in 2 weeks.
Yes.
We'll be in November, right before elections. Maybe no. I think it's after. Anyhow,
is it?
Tell Angela hello for us.
Sure will, Steve.
We'll see you soon.
Thank
you so much, Lauren.
Of course, my pleasure.
That's attorney Lauren Calta. We are so lucky to have their firm. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Monday with more Ask the Experts.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Experts show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.